Hi guys, it's Louisa, and this is not one of my normal videos. A lot of my videos are about me and Disney, and they are super joyful, and I'm like, wah! And I try to give funny commentary, because I love trying to be funny / being witty. And sometimes I make videos about dance, and sometimes I make them about decluttering. I really should make more about decluttering and dance, but that's a topic for another day. But that is not this video. This video is honestly just something I feel like I need to do. My number one goal in life, it's also my number one goal on my YouTube channel, but my number one goal in life is to be as authentic and as genuine as possible. And this is what I'm going through right now. And I am trying to heal my insecurities. I am trying to be the best version of myself. And I can't do that until I'm honest and just own my truth and own who I am. So that's what this video is. It's going to be unedited, and it's just, that's what this is going to be. And yeah, so stick around if you're interested. If not, that's okay. I'll be back to regular content on Saturday. But basically, for a few years now, I have really sometimes not hated myself, but I have gotten so mad at myself because I always feel like when people ask me, oh, like, what's wrong? And I talk to like my mom and my friends and they ask what's on my mind, I feel like I constantly tell them about the same situations. And I feel like I will never get over certain situations. And it's frustrating because I'm 25 years old and some of the situations are things that happened when I was 16. And it's like, I know I'm still so young, and I am so tired of carrying around this resentment and bitterness and hating myself for carrying around that bitterness and things like that. And it's just, it's been such a hard cycle, and I don't know how to break it. But I guess what kind of inspired me was a couple weeks ago in Joe Biden's acceptance speech, and this has nothing to do with politics. I don't want to get into that on this video. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. This is just what inspired me. But in his acceptance speech, he said, now is the time to heal. He specifically said the phrase, time to heal. And that really resonated with me. And that is now my new mantra. I see it being my new mantra for the rest of 2020. And I see it being my mantra for quite some time. Because I want to heal. I want to become the best version of myself. I want to move on and have new adventures in my life. And I am so tired of feeling so stuck in the past. And so I am committing myself and this period of my life to loving myself and just making sure that I'm okay mentally and finally getting over some things that I've really struggled over for years. And I think the best way to do that is being honest and owning and saying my insecurities out loud, admitting that they're there, and just acknowledging them, because I did that recently. I admitted my biggest insecurity with someone that I have tried to make a friendship work for years, but it hasn't worked because I had a lot of insecurities about it. And it wasn't until I finally said, this is how I feel about it, and this is how I'm going to feel about it and how I want to feel about it going forward. That it finally started to click in my mind, and it felt so good to just be like, lay all my cards on the table. I mean, being vulnerable is hard. I don't like being vulnerable, and I feel like I'm always vulnerable. I'm one of those people that's always like the first to cry and stuff like that. I'm like, I hate being vulnerable. I hate being weak, and I hate that. But it felt so good to just lay my cards out on the table, say, this is how it is. And, you know, I was terrified for that person's response, but it didn't really matter what their response was, because I said what I needed to say. I owned my own truth, and it was such a good feeling. So I want to feel that way. I want to feel like I'm owning my truth. I want to feel that way. So I'm going to be telling you guys my biggest insecurities. Some of them have to do with YouTube, and some of them also just apply to like my everyday life. And yeah, so these are my insecurities, and these are the things we are going to heal, and I'm going to learn to love and accept. So let's do it. So my first insecurity is that I'm single. I have been single for 4 years, and I've tried to date and do stuff like that in the past 4 years. But it just hasn't like worked out into a relationship and whatnot. And the reason I'm insecure about this is even it's funny because it's not all my friends. Like if you ask me my top 5 friends, all of my top 5 friends are not in relationships, and they are single like me. And they have been single for a long time. So it's not necessarily my peers, but just scrolling on Facebook and Instagram and everything, it just feels like everyone my age is getting engaged and getting married. And it's like, wow, that would be really nice to have. And on YouTube, I feel like a lot of people that I watch have a significant other, or they are married and they share their channel with their significant other, and they're able to do like witty banter. Gosh, I just want someone to like do witty banter with. Like that is the main reason I want a significant other. I just want to like try and outwit them. But and maybe cuddle. But I don't have that. And that's an insecurity for me on YouTube, because I mean, my channel's just me. Like I don't have someone to play off of. It's just me. And that kind of goes into insecurity number 2, is that I don't have kids. I really want kids someday. I am an aunt, which is good. So I do have young nieces and nephews that I get to hang out with, and they are the loves of my life. They are my prides and joys, even though they are not my children. But that's another thing about YouTube, is that a lot of channels, particularly Disney channels, are family-oriented channels, and there are kids, and they are super cute. And my YouTube channel, it's just me, and you know, I don't know how cute I am. I think I'm decently cute, but you know, I'm not gonna ever be as cute as an adorable kid. You know what I mean? So that's kind of an insecurity for me, and that kind of goes back to being single. Like I want to have kids. I want to have a family, but you can't plan love, and you can't plan that all out. So, you know, that's just an insecurity of mine that like would never happen for me. I hope it does, but I don't know. It's scary. My third insecurity is actually one that I have worked on a lot, and I've started to feel so much better about lately. But number 3 was that I was not a good dancer. And that I wished I would have been a great dancer and just born with an innate talent. And I, for the longest time, really wanted to be a professional dancer, and I wanted to, in the early days, like my dream was to be on Broadway and things like that. And I have come to the realization that auditioning and constantly having to go to auditions and constantly kind of opening yourself up for scrutiny is really hard for me, and I don't want that life for me. And I would rather be a dance teacher, and I'm very lucky that I'm able to do that. I am a dance teacher part-time currently, and I love being able to hang out with kids, um, and teach them some cool moves, and hopefully make sure that they have a good time in dance class. I want to make it a good time for them. And I for several years I have been so jealous of other people, and I was very competitive with dance. The main reason for this is when I was 15 years old, I did not make my high school's pom squad, and everyone else from my dance studio did. And that was heartbreaking for me. I know I'm very privileged if like that's something that I consider tragic that happened to me, and believe me, I know I am very privileged and I'm very blessed, but that experience was really hard for me, because dance was my only after school activity. And I was taking dance classes, 15 dancing for like 15 hours a week, 15 to 20, and to not be good enough really was really hard for me. And so not being good enough in that moment for that team, that led me to, kind of the general insecurity of, am I good enough for anything? So, yes, but this is something that I have really kind of started to go back on, and started to feel a lot better about, and I'm getting over it. I'm not as jealous and as competitive as I used to be. And the reason why I was so competitive in terms of dance was because I wanted to keep up. I wanted to be good enough. And it kind of felt like I had to be competitive to make sure I was at the same level as everyone else. And so, but now I kind of realized, you know what? I don't think, being a professional dancer is for me. And there are amazing dancers out there, and I just need to believe in myself as a dancer. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. So that's one that's already getting better, which is awesome. What else is there? I think those are kind of those are kind of like all the big ones. Yeah, like I feel like it's kind of normal for a 25-year-old to, be insecure about, finding a relationship and the future and, their profession. Okay, I guess this is another one. I do feel insecure about living at home with my parents, number 4. And it's crazy because my parents and I, again, I'm very, very privileged and blessed. My parents and I have a great relationship. They really want me here. They just like kind of knowing that I'm safe. And if I were to get my own apartment right now, which I could, I theoretically have the stuff and savings to do that. Like, I would just go home to an empty apartment every night, and at least living with my parents, like, I know I can come home and get a hug. And I know in other countries, like living with your parents, it's a lot more families live together, but I always just get scared because I just feel like people think I'm lazy or I'm a failure for living at home. And I know that's not true, because obviously with so much that has happened this year with the pandemic and things like that, a lot of people have had to go home and adjust. And I do work full time. I actually have multiple jobs. So, it's not like I'm just kind of sitting on my butt. But that's an insecurity that I have. And, so, but things I'm working on. As I said, this is the time to heal. And that's it, I think, with my insecurities. So that's pretty nice. I guess only having 4 insecurities is actually pretty good, but particularly like the being single and the dance one has plagued me those have been huge. And yeah, so those are my insecurities. And I do feel a lot better. There's just something about owning your truth that is unparalleled. And so it feels really good to put that all out there. So hi, my name is Louisa. Those are my insecurities, and I am working on healing those insecurities, and I am working on learning to love myself, love where I'm at, and to live in the present moment and not be stuck on the past or in the future. And if any of you have insecurities that, plague you and you wish you could get over, I want you to know that you're not alone and that you have people rooting for you. And yeah, so that's it for this video. I'll be back to regular content on Saturday with my next upload. But thank you guys so much for listening, and wishing you all the best. And let's all go heal from whatever we need to. Bye.